All right, so I might be live, and I think you could all hear me. Let me know if you could hear me in the chats. Welcome everyone to the final React.js live event that we had to have it earlier 2 days ago. Let me just fix this microphone. Yeah, so we had to have this 2 days ago, but because of some internet issues and some technical issues, I had to delay it to Sunday. Anyways, welcome to this live stream. I hope everyone could hear me. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Has anyone ever had experience with React.js in general? Let me know. For those of you who have a little bit of experience, that's awesome. For those who haven't had any type of experience, no problem. This is completely beginner friendly, so anyone could jump along. We had to have this 2 days ago. So I'm just gonna quickly go over to my community.codecademy.com page to just give a update email to all those people who have didn't RSVP for this event. So just a second. Yeah, so over here we have 58 attendees, and I'm just gonna have to send an email to all of these people. So email. For those of you who have any questions, just write all your questions down, and we're just gonna go to those who have within a virtual event ticket. No experience in React. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me just, I'm having a call. I have to attend this call as well. Just a second. Okay, no bad. My bad. It just went away. Anyways, over here we have virtual event ticket, and the event is this. Hello? Sorry about that. Just got a promotional call. You know, you got to avoid these kind of things. Pretty bothering me, but anyways. This is the live stream event link. For those of you who haven't joined, make sure you're joined in. It's on YouTube. So it's updated link. There was the other one that wasn't working, but now it's working. So this is the updated one. Perfect. And I'm just sending this. We are live. What? This is not convenient. Join. JS today. Yeah, we will be. Are we using REST to receive info from the API? What we're going to be doing is actually we're going to be creating a React JS application that will be using weather API data. So let's get quickly started with the thing. So this is how the email will look like when you receive it. Just make sure to accept it and join the stream. Now, to do this application, we actually need real weather information. The best resource where I found is the current weather API. So openweathermap.org. If you go here, you could go simply to the website page. So this is Open Weather Map, and they allow you to use their. They actually allow you to use their API to get information of the weather. So make sure you. Wait a minute. So make sure you log in. I logged in with my account, and then after that, you have to go to My API Keys. Now I have this API key. You could see all it. Everyone could see it. I'm gonna delete it, so don't worry about me. But we're going to be using this API for our application. So now I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to use it in our application. Now, to do this, we have to actually go to the API on the navigation bar. Over here, you can see the one call API, and then there on the bottom, you could see current weather data, right? So you could click on this API doc here, and then there's this HTTPS call that you just have to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually call this. Let me show you how we could do this. So if I go into my text document, you can see I already have something written down for me. And I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to reveal my API key, which you shouldn't do to everyone. Now, this is my API key that Open Weather Map provided. I could use the Weather Map service, right? So to do this is actually we have to use a request, and the way to do the request is you need to use this thing. So if I copy this and I bring it up here, so you can see over here, I have https://api.com openweathermap.org/data/2.5/weather question q is equal to. Now over here, q is equal to, we have to put in the city which we're trying to look for the weather, and then API, this is API key. So API ID is equal to, this is my API ID. For you, you're going to have to change it with your own open weather map ID. Remember, I said you have to log into this. It's totally free. And then go to this button over here. You have to go to my API key, and you don't have one. So you should click on generate. And then you just have to give a name to your API, and it should generate it for you completely for free. So once you do that, you could do the same, steps like what I've done. Make sure you have it in this format. And once you have all of that, suppose I'm putting in London. Now, for those of you who want to see weather for their own country, let me know the country name. Put it in the chats, and I'll just do it for the next part. All right, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it here in my address bar. So now I'm going to paste it, and you can see now I got a response from a server, which gave me a JSON response. Now, this thing all is called JSON, and to just look at if it's matching with the London that I gave, you can see over here country is GB. GB means Great Britain, and the name is London. So that it is sunrise, and you can see time zone and all the information about the weather. So you can see over there is clouds and all that stuff. Now, if I wanted, other information, I could add in, for Fahrenheit, for Celsius degrees and all that. So you can see over here, we have dollar units is equal to metric. If I copy this thing and I copy it and I paste it right after the question of London. So after this, and I say paste this thing, and then paste, then copy this thing. So right now I made a mistake, so that's why there's giving me a response that it is a 401 response, invalid API key. I've messed up, but this was actually completely correct. The server gave me the response. If you have any countries that you'd like me to see the weather of, you could share that in over there, and I could just check it out. So you can see over here, we have clouds over here, and this is actually all the weather information for London right now. So feels like 260, 292 temperatures. I think this is giving it in Kelvin or something. But yeah, we're gonna fix all of that. Anyways, I'm looking in the chats. So I'm late. Yeah, no problem if you're late. We're just going from the beginning. And hello again, everyone. Do we need to use our own? So fast. How should I do now? Well, so fast. What should I do now? You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is just watch me how to do this thing, and you'll understand it completely. I don't know why. I think we're lagging or something, but let me just let's see. I think we're in the. Yeah, I think we're perfect here. So make sure we're here. Just refresh the page and see. For those of you who haven't joined our Discord server, make sure to join it. What should I do now? Well, so fast. What should I do now? You don't have to do anything. Okay, so perfect. I guess that's all fine. Now what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna create our React app, and to do this application, I have a GitHub page where actually I have this weather API thing created. So if you go to this, let me share you the link to this repo. So this is the repo. Okay, so I gave you the repo link, and that's where all the code is, but I'm actually going to do it from ground up. So what we have here is actually a React weather app. And if I open it up through my command prompt, you can see over here, I actually typed in npx create React app weather app to save some time. So this command here, npx create React app, and then the name of the app, weather app, is used to create the application for us. And then you can see that it created this thing. So all you got to do is just go on your computer, make sure you have Node.js installed and all that. If you don't have all of that, then I recommend looking at my other live streams that I've done for complete beginners of React.js. Remember, this is also for complete beginners, but that one is very simple because it lets you know how to have everything pre-installed, Node.js and React.js and all that, so that you could work on React.js applications, on your computer. So over here we have CLS, and we just have to write npx create React app, and then the name of the app. So I named mine as weather app. So you can see over here that we have this command. So you can see this command, npx create react app and weather app. And then when I press enter, it should create this thing for me. Now I have all these files that are pre-generated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up using Visual Studio Code. Now I'm going to press in code dot. Okay. Now this is opening it up in Visual Studio Code. Awesome. And we have these files, node modules, public, source, git ignore, and all that stuff. What we're going to actually look and focus on is the source. And inside we have this app.js file, this one. And in this we have some logos and all that. But you can see if you want to run npm, so it's actually npm run start. So npm run start. And when I press enter, you could see my React JS application will be running. So there you go. And then after that, you'll see the React logo and all that moving around. So this is my React application running on my computer, and I can modify it and make it according to what I need. I'm just stopping here for just looking at the comments, and then after that, I'm going to move on. I'm probably going to be changing my microphone because it's not convenient, talking like this. I'm going to have to wear my headset. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. Yeah. So I don't need to change my microphone. I am still on my laptop to be created. Okay. I think I assume that you have your app or running whatever. But remember, this is no problem. Like you don't have to have everything like the same as me. You could also follow along. Maybe watch the stream later. Once upload it. It's gonna be completely for free on YouTube, so you could watch it as much as you want. So how many times you want. Over here, what we're going to do is we have this, plate. This is the app.js. This is the main file that is being used to render the, the page that is being displayed here. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually create a folder over here, and that is going to be called components. So we're going to call it components. And inside this components folder, we're actually going to create another folder, and that's going to be called weather. So I'm going to say weather. All right. So after the weather folder, we're going to have to create a new file, and that's going to be our component file. This is going to be called temp.js. Okay, so now we have a temp.js file, which is inside our weather folder, which is inside our components folder. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use React arrow function component with export. This is something that I've used. It's this is actually an extension in Visual Studio Code. And I remember I told you these stuff before in my earlier live streams. It just makes the development process a little simpler. If you didn't have this, you had to type all of this in. Okay, anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to just say here, all the basic stuff. We could say, let's say h1 and say hello. Okay, so we're saying hello, and what we have to do is we actually need to export this temp. So we need to use it in the app.js file, which is right here. To use this, you simply import it. So you can say import temp, right? Temp from and then basically you have to put in dot components. So basically it's dot forward slash dot, come on, simple dot forward slash components slash weather slash temp. All right, and that should save it. And now you have it imported. Now all you got to do is use it. To use it, you can remove all of this stuff, all of this stuff that is in here, and just replace it with a JSX fragment like that. And inside you could just put in the temp thing like this. Once you do this, you actually now have the hello text that we've written over here on our browser. So you can see this. It's all appearing over here. It's all working fine. But we're gonna have to customize this, and we're gonna have to try to make our application, So yeah. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna move and do the next part of this. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and we're gonna actually modify this, and we're gonna add in a CSS file within this file place. So over here we have components, and inside we have weathers, we're gonna have to create a new one, and it's gonna be called styles.css. So styles.css file. So this is the CSS file, and I have the styles.css file already generated. Remember, this video is not about how to do styling. This is more about how to do React.js. So I'm just gonna copy my style sheet file. For those of you who don't have it, remember I said it. Make sure you're checking out the GitHub repo over here. If you have it, you open it up. You could go to the public, go to the I mean, actually, you have to go to the source, not the public, but source. You have to go to the weather components, weather, and over here you could see the styles.css file. You're just gonna have to copy all of this and just paste it in your file, and you should have everything ready. So to import this styling, you have to go to the temp.js and actually add in some code on the top. So you have to go here on the app.temp.js. I don't have this saved, so I'll have this saved. And the temp.js, what you're going to do is we're going to import the styling. So we're going to say import, and we have a dot forward slash, and then we have styles.css like that. And this should import the styling, and it should work. Okay. No, I don't know why, but I hope my voice is flawless. There's no problem with it. If you have any issues, just let me know in the chats. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to the next part. Is when I imported my styling, I actually need to know what's going on, right? So we actually have these weather icons that I'm gonna be using, and they're basically this CDN I actually imported. You don't need to do anything. I have done everything for you, so you just have to copy paste it. But the CDN is being used by this thing. So this is weather icons. There's 222 weather themed icons in CSS. All we got to do is just import that, and we'll be able to use all these icons in our application. So they're pretty nice when you want to know, like, if it's sunny, cloudy, you know, snowy, whatever. So we're going to be doing all of that. Going to temp.js, we're going to have to go in our body, and we're going to have to, instead of this stuff, so first I'm going to remove this div, and I'm just going to have an empty, you know, tag like that. And inside of this, I'm going to actually use the div. So I'm going to use div class name, and we're going to use it as wrap. So this is going to be our div class name wrap. Inside of this div, we're going to have a div class name, and this is going to be called search. Okay. And inside of the search, we're going to have an input tag. So let's have an input tag. And the input tag doesn't have a closing tag, so we're just going to have a self-closing tag like this. But make sure you have all the attributes specified. So an input tag could have the following attributes. It would have a type. This type is actually a search field. So then we'd have a placeholder. So placeholder, and then wait a minute. So placeholder, and we could give a placeholder. Let's say search. Okay. So this is our placeholder, and we have autofocus. Just another attribute. Remember, these are all attributes. And then we have an ID. Let's give it a search ID. Remember, this is just a name to specify a class name. And this is called search term. This is going to be the term that we're going to be searching. Remember, like London, Lahore, Mumbai, you know, New York, whatever we search, it's going to give us the weather for that. So we have value, and then we have the value over here. So let's say search value. So the value is going to be in here. Right now we have nothing for this, and we have on change nothing. So right now we're just going to keep it like this, and I want to show you how it looks like. So I'm going to go back to my file, and you can see over here we have a compiler issue. So module not find, can't resolve styles.css. Okay, so we can't find this styles.css file, so we're going to have to navigate it. So we go here, and we go to the node modules public, and then there's source. Inside the source we have the components. Inside the components we have the styles outside. It shouldn't be outside. It actually should be inside the weather folder. And now it shouldn't have this error. And if I go back, there you go. So you have this search button you can see over here, but there's nothing else right after that. So we have to need a button and other things. So let's go back here and let's add in a button. So to add a button, you just have to go here inside of the div, which is the search class name search. Right after the input field, you need a button. So we're just going to have a button tag. So button, and the button will be a self, you know, there's a closing tag for the button. Over here we'll have a, you know, attributes that we have to specify here. So the first attribute that we'll give it is a class name. and that will be called the search button. So search button. Type for this would be button, and the on click we're gonna add in everything, but right now, it's just a simple button, static button. So this is our button, and if I show it, this should appear. You can see over here a search, and then we have type and then search. All right, so we can just type in, say, London, and then when we press search, it should give us some information. Actually, now I need a weather card, so I'm gonna add in a weather card right after this. So the weather card is actually going to be looking really nice. So for the weather card, I'm actually going to use an article tag. So an article, come on. Okay. So article, and we have a class name here. Now to let you know about the article tag, you could actually close it. So it's just an HTML tag. So you could close it like that. Okay. And inside this, you should have the attributes. So the attribute, first one is going to be the class name. Let's have the widget as the class name. So widget. Okay. Remember, I'm using these class names. These class names are defined in my CSS file, the styles.css that I imported. That's why you might be asking, well, what does this mean? I'm actually have all these styles incorporated, and they're basically using these styles. So all these styles, like what you're seeing, what I'm writing, like search term, like I'm using search button, I'm using all this styling is all defined, predefined here. So widget, remember, like I wrote widget over here. So that is also defined. So no need to worry about that. Inside of this article tag, what we have is the widget, right? So let me just close it right here. And inside of this, we should have another tag. And that tag is going to be the weather icon tag. So we're going to have this as a div. Class name would be called weather icon. And then we would have it as closed. And inside this weather icon, let me have an I tag. And this should have a class name. The class name for this would be according to the state of the weather, right? So this would be the logo, what it would exist. So right now, in the meantime, I could just add in WI. Since this is going to be using some, I would say, what is it called? JavaScript. So we're going to be using this tag, this thing. And over here, we're going to use some backticks like this. We're going to say WI, and then we could add in a state for ours. So I could just add in WI, and let's add in day. Let's add in day. So WI day, and let's add in CLOUDY. So let me just check if this works. So right now over here, you can see that there is nothing that's defined like that. Maybe because I didn't add in the quotes. Make sure I add those. And now let's see. Okay, so now you can see that there's this icon being added on this card, and you can see that there's this thing, this design that I've added. This was basically the article tag that is being used, and then inside I'm using a logo. And you can see that there's cloudy. If I add in something like sunny, which I'm gonna do right now. Now if I go here, you can see that there's a sunny logo. I'm waiting and just seeing if there's any questions. No questions so far, so now I think we could continue. I don't know why this paused. But yeah, Jeff, Derek, anyone having questions? Micah, John, anyone? No questions so far, and I'm going to be continuing. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and we're going to add in more things. So I have this div, which is the weather icon file, and I need the weather info, right? So the weather info is going to be right after this. I'm going to say div like that. Say class name, say weather info. And inside this weather info, we should have a class name temperature. temperature. Inside of the div temperature, we should have a span tag. Okay, and this should have a class name. And this should have, actually, this shouldn't have a class name. This should simply have the degrees that it should exist. So the temperature and then the degrees. So you could just have like 44 and then address. So address, where's the address sign? At deg, which is DEG, semicolon. 44 degrees, I don't know. It should appear like that. Let's see. So you can see over here 44 degrees, it's appearing. So that is there. And then after that, we need, after the weather temperature info, inside of the temperature info, we had the temperature in degrees. We actually need the description for the temperature. So we'd have another div tag. So div, and then this should be a class name description. And inside this description, let's have a div class name, weather condition. All right, so weather condition. And because the weather condition would be depending on what is the weather. So it could be like sunny, or it could be cloudy, whatever. I just wrote the weather condition as sunny right now. And we actually need the weather condition, and we actually need another div for the place. So we'd have div class name like that. And this should be the place. So like which location is the thing in. So you got to add in your name of the country. So let's say London, England. All right, like that. And then we have this div, and then we have this div, and then we have this article tag that is being closed after. So div, and then this div, and then the div after that, which is the weather info div, right? So after the weather info div, you would see the information. So let me just show you. So you can see over here we have 44 degrees, sunny, and we have London, England. We just need more information here on the cards, and then our styling should be almost complete. So I'm just gonna go here and let's add in some more components here. Let's go in and say div, and we say class name. This is gonna be the date. All right, so the date. And to get the local date, we just have to use the JavaScript notation here. So if you want to use JavaScript within your HTML, this is JSX. So you just have to include these squiggly braces, okay? And you can just write in JavaScript new date function dot to locale string function, and this should give you the the current date and all. And then we need our 4-column section that I'm going to be talking about later. All right, so if I go here and if I show you the code here, so we'd have our current date thanks to our JavaScript. We have 7/2/2023. The current time that is being generated with my browser is being generated through JavaScript. So this is all being run with this single line of code. It's pretty neat, huh? Now we need the 4-column section. The 4-column section is basically on the bottom, and you'll see it when I write the codes for it. So class name is extra. Remember, guys, you have questions, please throw them in the chats. I'm here to answer them. I want to make this live stream fun. Oh, I can see it. Sorry, your face, I can see it. Oh, what do you mean by that? Okay, I hope you could see my face now. You want to see my face? I mean, I don't know what I don't know what you're trying to say, man. But my camera's on. You could see my face. Okay, so class name over here, we need an extra piece of code, which is div class name extra. But what we need is something inside of this. This is the 4-column section. Remember, I told you that I wrote this code already in the GitHub repo. For those of you who don't have it, so I'm gonna give the repo link. Let's see there. So over here we have the weather app. make sure you're looking at this code and make sure you use this code to make your application, right? This is going to make things easier for you. So repo git up repo. Let's just make the H capital. All right, so this is the GitHub repo. Again, you could check it out and change it up according to your needs. Now over here we have the class name extra temperature, right? So the extra temperature has more information about the weather. So I'll show you the stuff that comes along with this stuff. So it's actually a div class name. Again, this is how you write in JavaScript. So we have a temp info max. Again, remember I'm telling you these styles are already defined. Min max, so you don't need to worry about any of that. Div class name again, two-sided, and we have section, and then we have paragraph tag. So we'd have this, and in that paragraph tab we have something inside of it. This is where we're going to be using the sunset or anything like that. So I'm going to use class name, and let's have it in here. So you can see that we have a class name, and inside we're using JavaScript. So I'm just going to use the the extra tags to use the weather icons. So I'm going to use sunset here, sunset. So we have some issues here. It says over here unexpected token. What is the token? Some kind of issue with the paragraph tag. We're gonna have to fix this up. So, oh yeah, so I didn't even close this actually. Now it shouldn't give us the error. And right now I don't see anything visible, but things will be visible soon, so don't worry. So we have this paragraph. Inside of that we have that logo, and we actually need another section here. So we'd say a paragraph, class name. This is called extra info. Left side. For this, we have the time. So I'm just going to put in some sample time over here. Let's say 7 p.m. 7 p.m. and then put a break tag like that. This is used to break the line. Let's call it sunset. This is actually the sunset time, remember? These are just extra information. And then you should be, golden right after that. So we have this div, two-sided section, and after that we have another thing right after that over here. So I'm gonna have to show you how it looks like. So you can see over here we have 7 p.m. and sunset, right? Now I'm quickly gonna, instead of wasting time, I'm gonna use the code that I have to just copy the things that I think that are redundant. So just I'm gonna use this. And I'm gonna use it here. So I don't know why this thing is here. Should be deleted. And this div should be here. So I'm just gonna and that should do the thing. So extra temperature, right? Yeah. There you go. So we have all this HTML defined, and I have all this, sample stuff inside of it. So we have this div, and we have all the stuff that are being there, and then after that, the article tag will close it off. Of course, there are going to be some errors that I have to come across where it's saying time stir, build, humidity, pressure, and speed are not defined because I'm using some of the things that I have done before. So I'm just going to change it up. So let's see. I'm just going to go here. For the time, I'm just going to currently use 7 o'clock, okay? And for the humidity, let's just say Actually, I'm just gonna use in the humidity over here. I don't know. I'm just gonna use some number like this. For the pressure, I'm gonna say again something like that. For the speed, I'm gonna use another sample number like this. And now you can see all the icons and logos are, displayed. I hope that this looks right now good, and you could dig this in. I hope that it looks nice, and we could just add in the information, and it should change our location and should see and tell us the right temperature over there. So that's just basically the styling aspect here. I'm just gonna stop here and pause a little, wait for your comments or anything like that, any questions, and then we're gonna move on to the API part where we're gonna try to integrate it with the API token that we used. Let's see. Let me go back here. Okay. So Jeff has a question. Hey, I'm looking at repo and I was wondering how were you able to abstract the API key? Well, I'm telling you, I wasn't able to abstract the API key. I actually had it hidden inside of my own, local storage. I didn't push it in the GitHub repo. I know that's a bad security concern. You shouldn't do that. So have your API key saved within your own local machine and just publish the code that you think is safe and easy to be accessible to everyone else. So I just wrote an API token. I didn't do anything like that. So that's why you're seeing like that. You can see over here, if we go to the source folder, again, we go to the, I guess it's the app.js file, or maybe it's the components weather, right? So over here, we have the temp.js file, and inside I might be using the API token here. So it says let URL API key. I don't have it. I said use your own API key. So there are different ways. I mean, you could use git ignore and all these stuff, the things that allow you to ignore stuff. And there are different other ways, which one we could go advanced. But from now, I just actually didn't even push it on GitHub. I actually have it saved locally. Now, Caesar has a question. I have one question. If I want the Sunnyway to be like an animation, how can you do it? You could use a GIF, a Jiffy. That would give you a nice animation, and you could just import it. There definitely will be a tag that will support GIFs, GIFs or whatever. So you got to add in it on your web application. I think that would really look nice. So that's a nice way to do it. I mean, dependence of the weather. I mean, I know what you're trying to talk about. You could use a GIF for that purpose. Any other questions before I continue? So what have you thought? Was there any other way, Jeff? You never thought that you could do it like that? Do it. I mean that is I guess the most simplest way you could think of. But then there are better ways, more complex ways, or maybe a little more sophisticated ways. But you could do whatever you want. Yeah. Are we ready to move on? Let's go and move on. Pretty hot here, bros. Okay, so now we're gonna go back here. You can see that this is all our temp.js. We have our weather card inside of it here, so it's it's getting convoluted, right? My approach is actually create a new folder. I mean, new file within this place. So I'll go call this as weather card.js, and you would use the same React arrow function component with export, and just paste in the thing. So just delete this. It should delete this. I don't have the extension for that. And then that code, what you have here. So this code, let's see. So all this article, the article tag, all of this, cut all of this. So we're just gonna cut it, and we're just gonna paste it within this code over here. So just paste it here. Okay. So now what we just want to do is we want to use it. To use this, it's simple. All you got to do is go here in the temp.js file, and you could just import it. So you could say import weather card from ./weather card, and you could just use it right after this div. So right here. So you could just say weather card like that. I mean, it didn't even change the way the application worked or anything, and you just made your code a little more nicer. Separated it in 2 different files. Just a better approach. All right. So now let's use the the API key that I was talking about. To do that, let's use some hooks. These are some simple things in React.js. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use some of those, and there's use states. Okay. So the first one is basically the search value, what you're going to be typing in the search bar. Let's say suppose London or anything like that. So I'm just going to use the API hook. So it's basically use state. Okay. And then inside of it, you should give something inside of it. So let's give a default value as London. All right. Now, if you want to give it a default value, we have to return it. So something like const, it should return some 2 things. So it should return 2 things in an array. So it says search value, because this is going to be the search value that we're going to be typing in. And then there's a function that is called set search value. All right. This is a function that is used to change the value. All right. And that is our use state. So to use this, you could just simply say from React, and then you could say comma, and then use this squiggly bracket and say use state like that. And should it give you an error, you could use the use state function like that. To get the, when you refresh the page, the function should automatically call in the case. Okay. First, we're going to use the use state for the, thing that over here. So inside of our, input field, we're actually going to type in value, and the value is going to be the state value. So search value that we gave in, which is right here, that's going to be in here. And remember, there's going to be an issue with this concern. Because if I type in, you can see automatically it gives us London. I didn't even type anything. I refresh the page, it will still give me London. But if I try to type in more, I can't type in more. It restricts me from doing this behavior. To change this up, you could say on change. All right, on change, and then you have to use this thing and then an event. And this event will actually trigger something called set search value. All right, because you want to change the value. And then you should say event.target.value, and this should change the value, and you should be able to type. Now if I go here, I'm able to type. Amazing, awesome. And I'm gonna refresh the page, and London is back to where it came from. Okay, nice. Now that is done. Pretty nice, huh? Now over here we need when we type in search, we want to get the weather information and all that stuff. But before doing that, we actually need to create a function for that, get weather info and all that. So I'm gonna go here, up here, and we're gonna use our API key over here. So let's use the API key over here. We're gonna say let URL is equal to, and then over here, this is our API key that we're gonna have to write in, paste. But right now I'm not gonna paste it in. I'm gonna go and try to give a request to this server. So this all stuff will have to be inside of this function. So I'm actually not I think it's not a better way to do this way. Another way would be, inside of this temp function, there's this, these are called hooks, use state hooks. So this is a use state hook. And we have a temp info that I'm going to use a little later. But what I have to do is I have to get the weather information, So like I said, if I go here, and I type in search, if I press search, I want to get the information for London. If I go here and type in New York, I want to, when I press in search, I want to get the information. But the weather, open weather map has to do all that stuff, right? So to go there, we have to go to the button, and we have to add in a property here, on click. Okay, on click, and then we should add in a function here. So there should be a function that should be triggered, when I press the the button that the HTML button. The button, I mean, the function that we could call is called get weather info. So I'm just going to type in get weather info right in here. And that is there, golden. And now what we go here is we go here and we just type in, you know, the function that we need for that particular case. So for that particular case, we have to use a function, and I'm going to define it right after that. And the function should be automatically called. In that case, we will be using the use effect hook. Now this is something different, so you don't need to worry about anything like that. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use const function. Everything is a const, so constant, just constant, get weather info. And this is an asynchronous function, so async, like that. And then remember, there should be this, and there should be this fat arrow function, and we're using a try and catch block. Over here in the try, we're having the URL that I said I'm going to use API key. So API key over here, semicolon, and we have to basically send in a request. Let's use our API key. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right in here. Okay, 1 minute. So I'm just going to paste it right in here. There's my API key. Everyone can see it. Don't worry, I'll delete it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the following. We're going to have to send in a fetch, request to the server. So to do this is basically, when we send in the fetch request, it will return us a promise, and we'll have to write the keyword await for that purpose. So you'll say const response is equal to await. So basically I'm sending a fetch request to the server using the URL like that. All right, and we have to use the await function because it's giving us a promise, right? Like that, we have to type in. And once we do this, we have to get the data. Now, this response has some data that we want to convert in JSON so that we could really simply, understand. So we say response.json function, and we type in await for this particular case as well. But the type for this would be just data, const data, like date, like that. Now we have this, data, but you could see then when I use this earlier, okay, I didn't know we could do animations. I thought we could only use icons. I mean, there are different things. I mean, yeah, there are so many different things. For those of you who are watching, having any questions, just throw them in. I'm here to answer all your questions. Remember, like I'm saying, you're getting a response from the server, and that's in JSON. This is all JSON. But you could see that there's something called data that we're going to be using. So we have to use the data to get all this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go here, and I'm going to go here and go back to this, and I'm going to have to, deconstruct the JSON and get all the information that I need. So to get things straight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say data.main. Okay, and in the main, I'm assuming that there is main over here. So let me see main. Okay, so in the main, you can see over here we have let's say temp. We have and humidity, pressure, all that stuff, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. So I'm saying data.main. What I want in from the main is I'm going to deconstruct it using this function, and I'm going to say const. This is a syntax to deconstruct. So I'm saying I want a temperature, I want the humidity, and I want to have the pressure, okay, like that. Now, for the other information, like data.main, and if I go to the JavaScript notation for the 0, you'll see the other information like the weather mood. So the weather mood is basically if it's sunny, cloudy, or whatever it is. And I'm gonna show you with a weather mood where it's basically located. It's called weather mood. Come on. Okay, so the weather mood should be over here. I don't know why it's not appearing, but in that JSON request, when I search it in, it should give me the weather mood, and the weather mood gives me like if it's sunny, cloudy, or whatever. I'm gonna change it from main. Okay, actually I understand. it's called main, and we have to change it to weather mode. So this is how I'm going to change it in. This is just the syntax for doing it. What it actually appears to be is basically main. So it's main, and we have to change it to weather mode, and we have to tell it if it's sunny, whatever it is. And I changed it to, the name. I changed the name from main to weather mode. Next, we have the data. Wait a minute. So data, const, and I'm just going to change this to a name. Okay, so name. And then we have const speed, come on. And we'll have the data again. And then we have actually data dot speed. Data dot wind will give us the speed, and const country, and the sunset time will be given by data dot sys. I'm not making these things up. These are all in there. This is right here, right? So it'll give us the country, and it will also give us the sunrise, sunset. You got to change in, you got to add in whatever you want. But for now, I think these are enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of this stuff. All right. So let me just separate it like this. So there's 5 of these. Okay. And actually, I want to create an object for this to store all of this stuff in an object. All right. So to create an object, what we could simply do is we could just paste in this thing. So this is my new weather info, and this has temp and humidity and all that stuff. And you actually need to create another state. So we're going to have to create this info, this object thing. So we're going to say const, and this is going to be called temperature info. Set temperature info is equal to use state, and inside of this would be an empty object like this. Actually, I don't need these quotes, and I just need this. Okay, so now I have this, and I could just use this set temperature info. Okay, and I could just paste in my my weather info inside it. So this thing inside here. My weather info, like that. Now remember that I have this all in a try block. So set, this is all in a try block. So this is in a try block. What happens if the try doesn't work, right? So that's where we have a catch. So we have a catch right after the try block. So I would have catch, and the catch always picks up an error. Okay, and what we generally would do is basically log the error to our console screen. Okay, so now that we have all of this done, you can see that this thing is basically being added here using this my get weather info function. So what I have to do is basically define this. I put a semicolon here so that this function is declared. Okay, and what we have to do is basically use this use effect hook. So use effect hook, and it includes this thing, so like that. And I'm going to be constantly using this get weather info function. Okay, so get weather info function is being this function, so constantly being sent this API to my being sent to the weather open API, getting all the information and trying to extract it. And then I'm using this function constantly. One important thing, so that we don't have any callbacks, so we don't have all these repeated calls, we just use this. Make sure we have the square bracket right after this comma. So this square bracket. So that should do things for us. Let's just have a semicolon here, and all that stuff. So now this get weather info function has this information being called, and all of the things are being there. But right now it's not going to be changed. So you can see save. So you can see London. Right now it's London. So if I go in my console screen, if I go inspect, wait a minute. So inspect sources console. So right now we have some error. So let's go back here. So we'd have a syntax expected in the doc type of JSON. I don't know what. but let's have this, and let's say search London. So we have some unexpected token in the JSON temp.js. So we have some error over here, catch. So I'm just going back here, seeing what's the deal. So we have this catch function. This is try function, which is right here. And then we have the catch function, which is right here. So catch, error, console.log, error. And I guess we have it till here. Yeah, so it looks fine to me. I don't know why there's an issue. So let me just check again. Download the React DevTools for a better experience. Again, we don't have anything here. Just go back here, change this to London. Okay, so before all of this, let's have one other thing. So let's just try to complete it, and then after that, I'll try to debug it. I know that's not a good practice, but we have this weather card, template that was being called, which generates this whole CSS. Yeah, hello. I think it should be error.message. Error.message. Let me try that. Console.error.message. What do you mean? Console.log. So let me go back here. Error.message. I don't think so. This is something. So we're just gonna stick to this. I know it's correct. There's just some bug over here where but don't worry, we'll get it cleared. We have this weather card component that we're being called, this weather component, right? But we actually need to pass in this object that we've created, this gigantic object, this one, my new weather info. To pass that thing, we could just add in temp info. Now, where's this temp info defined? Remember this temp info that I defined here? This has this object. We just want to pass it inside of this thing. So to pass this in, you could just simply type in like this. So you could just give in the JavaScript like this, and then say ... which is the previous info, spread operator, and temp info. Now this should give us the temp info inside of this weathercard.js file. Okay, so the weathercard.js file will have this being added to itself. So what we could do is we could just receive the stuff. So I could use the squiggly bracket, and inside you would just paste in the the object stuff. So whatever the values were, so you could just copy them and make sure you have them over there. So just a second. We're gonna copy it and we're just gonna paste it right here. So you can see over here, temp, humidity, pressure, weather mood, name, speed, country, sunset. All right, all of that stuff is being added in here, and then we're gonna have this thing returned. So it's gonna return us something. So one other thing that we actually need is a weather state, but that I'm gonna be doing later. Okay, I think I forgot to add in a use effect. Maybe that's one of the issues that was occurring. Let's see. Well, actually, use effect was automatically imported, so I guess that wasn't an issue. I mean, it's just constantly giving me a syntax unexpected token. Is this like maybe a problem with my HTML? Like it could be. So maybe over here we have this, and then we have this. Or maybe, but it gave us the location to it as well. It said it's over here somewhere. There's an issue coming here in this part. And I'm not sure where the issue is coming from. but it's saying that the issue is over there somewhere. So I mean, I'm just gonna keep it like that for now. And I don't see any issues for me right now. But you know, we're gonna move on a little later, so don't worry about that. I said we're gonna find the pesky little error later on. So we're done with that. I remember I told you that I got the information inside of this. Now we just have to use it manually. And this is one of the easiest parts here. Again, I'm gonna have to use some use state later on. And that's just gonna do with one of my jobs. But the other thing that I want to do is I want to show you some awesome thing. So in the so you can see over here that we have the icon over here. So right now Sunny is over there. So let me just copy this. Make sure we have it copied. So I'm just gonna have this copied all the way till here and paste. Okay. I hope it's not giving me any errors. I don't know why. What's the deal with the errors, bro? Oh yeah, I forgot the article tag. Just a second, guys. My computer, I don't know what, is pretty slow responding. So I'm just getting the code. And I'm just gonna paste it right in here. So I don't need all that. And this is all similar. I'm just you know, fixing up some of the styling issues that I have. I think that's okay. Okay, so we have module build failed. So we have some closing tag problem over here. Closing tag is over here. I don't have the semicolon here. I don't have the semicolon here. Okay, now we have this weather state and time stir not defined. Okay, so don't wait. And I'm gonna show you what this all is. Okay, so what you're gonna do is actually all this stuff here. Remember, you said this stuff. Then we have weather state. This is gonna be the state of the weather. Like remember I told you it's sunny or whatever. So right now I'm not gonna use this thing. This is called a string literal. What I'm gonna use is basically the same thing. So we said, I guess it was like sunny, something like that we used. So sunny, and then I'm gonna use double quotes here. No, it was like WI, and then we had day, and then we had sunny, like that. Again, I'm using the thing from here, this thing. So WI, day, sleet, sunny, this one, you know, this icon, this thing right there. And this should appear here. So okay, we have one other issue. It's the time stir issue. Now this is because I have a function that is basically changing the time. So normally what you would see is there's this time stir function. Normally it would be like 7 p.m. like this. So right now like that. But because I'm using the time stir function, this function is basically gonna okay, perfect. Now this function is that time stir function is basically converting the time into something more readable, something that is readable to humans. It's something that is being converted using JavaScript. So what we're going to be using is this function. So let's just go here before the return function. So before this return, what we're going to do, let second, and we have the sunset, right? Converting the seconds into time. So, and what we're going to do now, where's the sunset from? The sunset is this thing. Sunset is some kind of random property. Over here, if I go, I'll show you. Oh, and error dot message. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, but I'll check it out soon. Thanks for the thing. But 1 minute. So let me just go here and show you one thing. So over here we have the sunset. See this sunset? Look at the time. This is crazy. I can't understand this. This is why we have to convert this into something that we could understand. So I convert it into seconds. So to do this, I could do converting the seconds into milliseconds. First, I convert it into seconds. And I'll say let date is equal to new date. You get the seconds, right? And you multiply it by 1000. And this should convert it into milliseconds. Now, if you want it to convert it into something on milliseconds, you'll times her, and you'll have basically the string literal. And inside of this, you would have a dollar. And inside of this, you would have braces. Date dot get hours. Okay, so this date is coming from this get hours, and converting into hours, minutes, and seconds. So hours function, and then we have a colon here, and then again a dollar. I would have a dollar here. Again, this braces, and we have date dot get minutes, and would have this function. Okay, so this is basically gonna convert it into hours, and that if I go back here, the application here, so data is not defined. Weathercard.js line number 16. Let's see, line number 16. I might have well, yeah, might have well see date. Where? Oh, data. My bad. What am I doing, man? So date. So now it should show you that there's this information here. Nan because right now I don't have anything searched. Once I search it, it should populate the thing. Right now I'm having so many errors, but we'll check that out soon. One person said use console.log error.message. So console.log error.message. If I go here, well, actually that still didn't give me the solution. So we're just gonna dig out and we're gonna find the solution. Don't worry. But right now we'll just keep it like that. So we got this converting issue done. Now what we have to do is we just have to place in the attributes. Like you can see over here, country and name. These are being called from here. So country, and we have name here. And all that stuff is being converted here. So everything is pretty much fine. What we need to do at the end is basically use another state function. And that is going to be defined here on the portion right here. And this is going to be called const weather state. And this is going to be for the, sunny, rainy, whatever it is. It's going to change according to our requirements. So set weather state is equal to use state. For now, it would be empty string. We'll use a use effect hook to determine what the the weather state would be. State, remember I told you, is the icon, what it would be. So if the weather mood is like sunny or anything like that, it will depend on that. Remember I told you weather mood is the main thing. Weather mood. Let's say if the weather mood is something valuable, we would have to use a switch statement. Switch statement which has the weather mood inside. Okay, and inside would have a case if it's clouds. So it would say like that. So if it's clouds, what we'd use is basically set weather state. Now, where's this weather state? It's up there on the top, this thing. So we'd have set weather state, and we'll use wi day, wi day, and then we have cloudy, something like that. So cloudy, like that. So you could see this from this page here. So this one, wi day cloudy, and then we're using it for all these other weathers. So if it's cloudy, if it's for sunny, it's for haze or clear, all that stuff, we'll just add in the switch case statements here. So just gonna paste in the other ones right here. So let me just add in. I'm missing one extension. I really like that extension. It's called Prettier. It really changes everything. Okay, there you go. Man, what am I doing, man? So there's this error over here. Let me add this over here as well. Add this over here and this one. Okay, so we have clouds, haze, clear, mist, and then default is just sunny. Now we'd have this use effect hook, right? Where is it closing? So we have this close right here. So this close is basically with a semicolon at the end, like that. But before all of that, we'd actually need one important thing. That is actually a comma and a square bracket, and that is basically the weather mood. It essentially changes, and it will change the icon for us. And the weather mood is being placed here. But before even that, we have it over here. So over here, instead of this sunset or anything like that, would have the string template literal thing. So this thing inside this dollar. Okay. And wait a minute. I think I did it wrong. Not over here. It's actually on the top. So over here where we have the icon right here. It's right now sunny over here. Same thing. Remember what I did? Backticks, a $sign, this thing, and what we're gonna say is weather is consistent, and then after that we just have to put it in the weather state, which is gonna completely being changed. Right now you have use state, and use defined is not defined up there. So from React, just put a comma here and say use state and use hook. I think use state and use effect. Yeah, what am I saying? Use effect. Okay, so I have all the issues settled. There's only one issue that is concerning, and that is in the temp.js file. I'm going back in the temp.js file, and I'm gonna see what is the issue here. I have my API key. I actually didn't paste it in. So the API key was over here, and I'm just gonna paste it in right here. Okay. Oh, okay. So I had it in URL, maybe in string like this, or maybe in those in this backticks. I think backtick was okay. So let's go back here, refresh. I might have to restart my application. So I think it's running. Okay, I'm just gonna have to close this application. And I'm gonna restart this application. To do this, you just have to say npm run start. Okay, it's still giving me some default behavior. So I'm going back to the weather card, and I'm seeing what's the issue over there. One other thing that concerns is basically the rate of the API call. So if I use the API for a certain amount of time, then it stops me from using it. It prevents me from using it. I mean, why is this giving me a JSON error? Okay, I got the error issue. We actually don't need to paste our API like that. We actually need to paste our API like this. Like this. Like this. This is basically going to be the URL endpoint. So I'm just going to copy it. They're going to go back to the temp.js file and just paste it right in here. We had no issues with the, catch method. We just had an issue over here, so I'm just going to paste it in here. So you can see over here now we have, let me just clear it out. Let URL is equal to this HTTPS. This is how we were calling the API in the first place, remember? Yeah, remember, stick around, guys. Just 1 minute. I have the solution. So what we have here is let URL HTTPS API.weathermap. This is how we're going to be calling the thing to get the weather app. So we have the weather app, and then we have the search value. Search value is going to be the value that we're searching. Remember that search value that we're using in the button, which is right here. Remember this button? And we're using the search value that is being typed in, that in our input field. That's going to be triggered inside of our API token. So we're using this template literal to modify our string. And we're saying units is equal to metric because I'm going to be using Celsius degrees instead of Fahrenheit for now. And then we have this app ID is equal to the app ID of what you want. Earlier, when I started this live stream, I told you this is the way that we're going to be using it. Silly enough, I just forgot about it. And then I was just stuck with this problem. But I'm hoping now this is going to be the ultimate solution. And now you can see that we don't have any error anymore. So if we go back here and refresh, so you can see over here, download the React. It just says that. And this is 20 degrees, 20.51. It's clouds over there in London, Great Britain. Amazing. To test it out, I want to confirm using some of the locations of your places. And then you can match it out with your own locations. So in the chats, let me know where you're living from or which location you want to test. I'll check it out with my, with my application, and if it matches, we're golden. And remember, this is in Celsius degrees. You could change it with Fahrenheit as well. Just a little slight modification that I know, and I'll tell you about that. So let me know in the chats. So it says over here that we have Delaware. All right, let's have this one. And you have to tell me the temperature there as well to modify that this should be working. So we have the paste, and there you go. Delaware, US is 30.42 degrees. This is in Fahrenheit, Celsius, and this should be in Fahrenheit. Should be. Man, it's so much. Okay, it should be 86.74. Now I could change it up to Fahrenheit as well. To do that, I could just have the units matrix. So I could delete this. Okay, and I could save it. Now the person said Delaware, right? So let's go and search again. So you can see, wow, we have. Okay, we're gonna have to change it to units equal to, I think, metric, and then we have to do Fahrenheit or whatever. But it should just give us the temperature in the appropriate amount. So it's currently breaking right now. I actually could modify this according to that. And units is equal to matrix and app ID. I think this is perfect. And I searched in Delaware, 86 Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, let's look at another one. I think this is a place as well. We're currently having the application running in Celsius. You could change it up to Fahrenheit as well. You know what? I don't know what, but it currently has London. Yeah, London is perfect. So now we have this Taichung. Now this is Taichung, 28.57. This is in Celsius degrees. Remember, you have this pressure, your speed, your humidity. The sunset time is this correct time. The time frame over here is just the current time that I currently have, but we could change that up. You could add in more parameters if you want. But this is our entire application. And I know that this is the correct temperature over there. You could check it out. You could convert it with this converter if you want. And if you want, I could change it up to Fahrenheit as well. But I could rest assured that this is completely working. Derek King, yeah, it's perfect. Caesar, Cali, 26 degrees. Cali, California, you want to check it out? Okay, let's just check out the last one. So, paste in, I don't know if it's going to search Cali. Calico, I don't know, what is Calico? I don't know what that is, but it gave me the temperature, 28 degrees. I don't know what that is. But California, I think that's something else. Okay, that's something else. But California would be searching. Okay, so anyone has rain anywhere? Is there rain going on anywhere? You'll see that the icons will change as well. So right now in California, it's pretty sunny. You can see that because it's sunny, that you can see that sun over here. It's clear and it's sun. This is one thing that I wanted to talk about, is that if there's any rainfall happening, this app will detect it and it'll tell me if it's raining over there. So right now in London, you can see that's cloudy, but in California, it's sunny. Any place that's rain going on, it would, adjust itself. So I think we could conclude it till here. There's no one else that wants to check their locations. You could check out this code resource that is available on the GitHub repo that I shared earlier. Other than that, you could check out our Discord server. I could share you the Discord server stream. Wait a minute. So I'm going to send you the invite for that as well. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Because I'm going to be providing you live streams every single month. And the Discord server link is over here. So just click on the channel art and then you'd be invited to this Discord server link. So I'll just copy this invite and make sure you're joined in. Over here in my Discord, I have an exclusive place where all of my subscribers and all my community members are there, and we could help each other out for free. It's a brilliant place to learn. There's so many people. So this is the Discord server. Remember to, there's one person already joined in. So remember to go here in the welcome page and just accept this verification. And once after that, just talk about yourself, introduce yourself here in the chat channel. And then after that, you could share in your C++ knowledge, GitHub knowledge, JavaScript, or whatever. Share your GitHub profile. I could check it out over here as well. So other than that, welcome, Caesar. Other than that, one other thing that I want to show you is actually my Patreon page. So for those of you who want to support Coding Cleverly, I would recommend, becoming a Patreon supporter. And that is something really amazing. You'll get so many exclusive tiers. I'm sending that link here as well. Thank you. Good job explaining the weather app. Thank you, Caesar. I hope you loved the session. We'll definitely do more sessions in the future. I'm totally up for more React, JS, Angular, whatever, Android development, app development, MERN stack, Django, whatever you want. And the best part is if you are a Patreon supporter, you'll get even more exclusive tiers. So just recommended, if you become a Patreon, any one of you would unlock all of these exclusive video content and exclusive cheat sheets that I'm only giving out to my Patreon members that are handwritten and they're being charged, but you could only get them access for free. And also you'll get free, other things as well. So this is my this is my Patreon. Other than that, we're there. Welcome, Derek. Welcome, everyone. Other ones who haven't joined so far, join in. Become a part of this community, and hope you guys love the stream. Other than that, I am out of the stream, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys, everyone. Have a great day. Keep coding, and peace out.